or something, or weird things. It doesn't get to the point where I'm like, I'm feeling very uncomfortable watching this right now.
Well, again, in the anime, it doesn't really show much. It usually, the screen doesn't go black, but it shades in some of the things where it's
it goes
faded.
into like a sepient thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Through a foggy window.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's going on there? Why is that guy bent over?
You see part of the picture, but when it goes near the crotch area and stuff, it kind of fades out, and you don't see it.
Put like bars and blurry things over them.
No. It's, and some of them,
Like on cops, like their dick is under arrest.
they don't do that, no. They usually, they wouldn't do that. They just fade it through a little bit. I mean, you can still hear the noises they're making, but,
Because they show tits on Yuri, they do, like a lot.
well, yeah, but tits aren't that bad to see.
Full-on breasticles and everything.
Well, do they show the vagina?
No, they usually just, it's like a Barbie doll, just flat and shit. It's like really weird, like that's not how the anatomy works, but it is in anime. Okay. Not in manga. In manga, it's full on. You see everything. Like they go into real detail, and I'm like,
yes.
You have been studying way too much vagina.
Yeah, they do this in the manga too, where in yaoi they show a lot of it. When I say a lot, okay, no, they do show it, but I mean, you have to be very tolerant, I guess, of it. If you
does it show full on penetration?
You mean like jizz or something?
No, full on penetration, which means dick in ass.
Yes, they do. They do show it. I mean,
like you're punching a hole through a watermelon. None of that?
No, they do show it, but
Okay. I'm just making sure. I'm trying to find out which one's harder, Yuri or Yaoi.
Yaoi is definitely harder because they actually show it a
lot of screaming and a lot of sweating.
In the manga, yes, they show a lot of it. Not in the anime.
That's how I decide how to read mangas from now on. I just go for which one I feel has the most messed up synopsis on it, which is why I read and watched Candy Boy. Which, for those of you who don't know what Candy Boy is, it is a show where the entire plot is just two sisters who are like fraternal twins who are like in love with each other. I don't know if it ever gets anything like too hardcore and stuff because I didn't finish it. Because it was like a short internet show. It was like 7 minutes an episode. And it was subbed, so that kind of annoyed me. But
so was it an OVA or was it just a regular short episode?
It was an internet show. I think it was just a short OVA thing, maybe. Okay. I don't know if you consider that an OVA, but I think people just called it an internet show. I don't know if it premiered on TV or anything.
Okay.
I was just sitting there and I was going through like shows and they were like, yeah, what about Candy Boy? I'm like, what's that about? And it's like, oh, it's about twincest. And I'm like, is that the plot or is there like an underlying plot? And they're like, no, twincest. That's it. And I'm like, right on, let's do this. I'm game.
So, okay, you're okay with twincest, yet you're not okay with yaoi?
I never said I wasn't okay with yaoi. I just said I can't really concentrate on the story because I'm a dude, and it's not that I don't find it like disgusting or anything. It's just to the point where I'm like, all right, at some point this story is gonna get rough.
Okay, but it's not really that hard. I mean, when I've read some of the Yuri things, it doesn't really. I can still concentrate even though I'm a girl.
It doesn't get like super rough in Yuri. I mean, like I said, there's no appendage in there that's gonna be inserted in a painful way.
So you're pretty much
fisting, which is very rare.
So you're saying that if you are the faint of heart for seeing this stuff, you would rather not suggest Yuri for this, but when
I'm a fragile person, and I would suggest Yuri.
Okay.
I don't need to see, full-on penetration and thrusting. I don't know, like, how it is reading that. Do you read all the grunts?
You don't have to read all the grunts.
Do you, like, just skip the words and just, like, oh, I'll skip the word bubbles because that's just, and then,
You don't really have to read them. I mean, you can think it,
say,
but
I'm going to ejaculate.
They use different words, but yes, they do say that.
Because whoever writes, like, manga and stuff, they always use, like, the weirdest words and stuff. Like, I'll be reading, like, a Yuri thing, and it will be, like, one of those ones that gets hardcore towards the end. And then be like, yeah, go down on my vagina. And I'm like, who the hell calls it that when you're having sex? I was wondering, like,
They
in
usually-
Yuri, I was wondering yaoi if they're like, yeah, go down on my penis. Go for my scrotum.
They actually,
I'm gonna ejaculate.
in the yaoi, they don't actually use any of the body part names.
They don't use anything. They name like really weird things, like suck on my magic wizard stick or something.
No, actually, they don't really say anything on that
Fucking
line.
you and Captain Frosting's Magic Juice.
No, they don't. They just stay. They either say usually "I'm coming" or "come." That's basically all they do.
Write down like really long grunts when they do ejaculate. Does it do the ugh?
You mean the like H
It's like
with the
over and over again. It's like in really big capital letters while it just shows the character's face like really contorting as hell.
they'll show the face for a few pages with little ones going across the screen, and then when they get to the big one, they'll show a really long one going across the screen.
Like, full page, right on this dude's face, crazy as hell, big letters. I want. Oh! You gotta let everyone know what's going on. I think they're gonna get. They're gonna come. Like, no, we've gotta let them know right when it happens.
Again, this is only in the
I want
manga.
sticky man juice everywhere.
No, okay, this is only in the manga where they do this. In the yaoi, in the anime, they don't.
necessarily do that because they gotta hire actors for that.
Yes, I
I
mean,
want a picture when they hire an actor like, all right, your lines. Now I want you to say, cover me in your sticky man juice, and then I want you to yell out, oh!
okay, you're just arguing with the sounds, but still, they don't do many sounds in anime.
They do that henty though.
Yes, but I consider
I don't know how
henty.
many yaoi henty. I don't think I've seen
Henty
any
yaoi.
dubbed ones. I don't think they
No.
dub those.
No, because I don't think any American actor would want to. Yeah, I don't think they would.
Manana, watch, doing.
Oh, can that pull
Do
it
it.
off though?
Now yell Bon Kai.
Yeah, it's morphin time.
Oh, it's morphin time. Oh.
We got Dark Strike on the floor, people.
He's laughing his ass off.
He's turning red.
Did you just picture Nick Manana and Johnny Young Botch doing it? Was he dressed like the Black Power Ranger?
Are you alright? Do you need us to call the ambulance? Do you need us, some assistance down here?
Alright, let's move on to the last graphic stuff. To Shoujo Ai and Shonen Ai. Okay, so for the one that I'm going to be using for Shoujo Ai is an anime that I don't necessarily consider a Shoujo Ai, but everyone seems to say it is and say that, oh, it's all highly implied in it, so you can count it. But I really like the show, and since a lot of people still consider it in this category, I'm going to also, and that show would be Lucky Star. Now, Lucky Star is probably one of my favorite shows. It's definitely up there in the top 10. And people still consider it a shoujo ai because they say, oh, there's definitely, like, relationship things between Yutaka and Minimi and Konata and Kagami and all that stuff. But I've never considered it a shoujo ai at all, but I do find the show really funny and interesting. Like, do you consider it a shoujo ai?
Well, yeah, like what you said, some of it does get implied, but, I wouldn't really say it's a yuri, so there's parts in there that, do kind of come off like a Sojin Ai kind of part, so I guess you could say some parts in it are considered that.
Well, yeah, I definitely want to consider it a yuri because there's no full-on announcement of it, but there's a lot of highly implied stuff, but I still do find the show to be really funny and stuff, and it is definitely one of my favorite shows, so I will be putting it on this list to justify why I believe yuri is better than yaoi, since people do still consider it a shoujo ai, so I am still using it for my benefit, despite the fact that I don't necessarily believe it is a shoujo ai.
The one that I'm using for the Shonen Ai would be Nabari. This one doesn't really show anything either. It just
It's one of those really highly implied shows. I mean,
it implies it a lot in it, but it doesn't really show any of them kissing or making out or doing it or anything.
I really the show, like I don't know, like the Japanese actor does, the English actor is This is more like shonen, like.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. That's why I would
So
say...
it's like really like underlined homoerotic